Hi everyone, it's Asia from Pranalife Yoga, and this is a simple daily sequence that you can do to keep up your yoga practice in between classes. So, start on your back in a position that's comfortable for you. That can mean knees bent, resting in on each other, or legs straight out. Arms as far away from your body as you like. Just simply take a few breaths here. See if you can still the movement of your eyes behind your eyelids. Relax any tension in your bite. And just allow your body to be heavy into the floor while you watch the movement of your breath. It's really useful to take these first 10 or 20 breaths before you practice, just to transition into this state of mind, especially if you're coming from a busy day. Just let your awareness rest on this movement of breath. You don't have to change it in any way. Just watch it and allow it to help focus you in this moment. This is really your primal flow, this inhale that allows you to feel extension or expansion or opening. And an exhale that allows you to feel maybe release or maybe a hugging inward. Maybe a heaviness towards the floor. We'll do 2 more breaths here. In this practice, go for a really good quality of movement over any quantity or speed. Over your next few breaths, start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Rock your head gently side to side. Still just watching that flow of breath in your body. Awesome. And then on your next inhale, as you start to open your eyes, reach your arms up and overhead and just take this big full-bodied stretch like you would when you first wake up in the morning. Spread fingers and toes. You probably want to arc your back, and then you can reach a little more through your right side, and through the left, and then one more right through center. Perfect time. Take one knee up towards your chest, followed by the other. Grab onto your knees. You can hook your thumbs for an easier grip. And then extend your arms out straight and just relax your legs. Let them hang heavy. Don't bring your shins up. Get rid of tension in your feet. Just allow your hip flexor to be in a really neutral position, as well as the low back. And hold here, still relaxing any tension in your neck or throat or bite. Feel the breath move your back ribs into the floor on the inhale. Again, don't be in any hurry. Take this opportunity to really feel your thigh bone go heavy into the hip socket. Feel any tension in your shoulders or neck, just let it go. Some of you may be able to pay attention to the pelvic floor, see if there's any tension there, and relax. Good. All right, now from this place, start to let go of your knees, leave them stacked over your hips, and then bring your shins up parallel to the floor. Hug these legs together, just enough that you feel the inner line of your muscle turn on the inside of that leg. Just hug, 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 feet, knees, thighs. Just enough to feel that muscle turn on. Perfect. Now, place your hands in prayer position, palms together, and then slide your hands in between your knees. Once you get there, the hands are going to push out against the knees a little bit, and then the knees will push back into the hands. You should feel a little bit more muscular engagement in the inner leg, as well as through your shoulders, upper back, maybe even into the mid-back. Beautiful. Okay, keep your feet in contact. As you inhale, let your hands be just a little bit stronger. Inhale and press those knees as far wide as they will go. And then as you exhale, your knees grow a little stronger, pressing the hands back in. So you shouldn't feel any jutting. It shouldn't be terribly hard to do. Just enough resistance between hands and feet that you feel those muscles working. We're just going to groove these joints a little bit. Grease them up. Get them ready for some movement. We'll do one more. Each inhale, knees take them as wide as they can go. And then each exhale, come back to center. Awesome. Grab hold of your knees. Rest for 2. Looking to keep the strength and just let go of the tension. 1. Good. Second set, knees stay over the hips, shins come up parallel, hug those legs together, and then sit your hands on the outside edges of your knees. If you need to bring the knees in a little bit, it's totally fine. And again, feet stay in contact, and now the knees are going to be pressing out against the hands, turning on these hips on this outside, and the hands are going to resist back into the knees, turning on your chest muscles. And on each inhale, the knees will be a little bit stronger, pressing those hands wide. Each exhale, the hands will press the knees back together. Again, just enough muscular action that you're warming these areas up, getting good fluid action in there. It's possible you've been sitting all day and you want to just get those hips moving, or you've just gotten up. Hips have been still through the night. 2 more. One more. Good, that's her. Bend your knees, plant your feet. Set your feet wide enough on the floor that your heels are on the mat, the toes turn off. And you're just going to lift your hips. Nice and easy. When you lift your hips, think about the tip of your tailbone wanting to point straight up at the ceiling. That'll keep you in a little bit of what's called a posterior tilt, which will turn on your glutes. You should be able to poke right through here. However much you got to poke through, it doesn't matter, it's fine. And then just feel a really strong muscle on underneath. And if you don't, maybe think about trying to turn that tailbone up towards the ceiling and see if you can get those muscles to turn on. Awesome. Okay, and then from here, you may have to step a little wider. You'll figure it out in a second. What I want you to do is let the hips be buoyant, but also let them follow the action of the leg you're about to move. Okay, so the hips stay up off the floor, but they're going to move with the leg. Start taking your left knee towards your inner right ankle. Try and keep that right leg up. See how the hips will lower, and then come back up, and the hips bounce back up. And then the right knee will go towards the inner left ankle. Now, if you bump into this leg, then you just have to step a little bit wider. You just got longer legs, no problem. Just take that knee, and come back up. And you're not forcing, you're not pushing this action. You're just going with a range of motion. You'll feel it, you should just feel a pretty mild to moderate stretch along the top of the thigh, maybe up into the hips. You might feel it around the knee. You shouldn't feel any pain. If you feel pain, ease up a little bit, don't push. Everybody's internal rotation is a little different, so I have quite a bit. I can take that leg pretty low. You might not be getting as far, totally fine. One more. And up, good. Set the hips back down. Grab on your knees. Rest for 2. And 1. This is one way to get rid of tension in the body. Make it work and then relax. Teach you to let go, keeping the strength, letting go of the tension. All right, second set. We're going to go into a set of hollows. Knees over the hips. Relax your feet. Just let them drop towards the floor. And then you're going to start to work into the muscle of your feet. You've got a quarter of the bones in your body in your feet. And we just shove them in shoes and make them walk along flat surfaces. So we want to get into the mobility of the feet. So first thing, knees over the hips, hug those legs together, and then start to point your toes towards the floor. For some of you, that's enough. Great. Play with that. You can kind of come in and out of it. You can wiggle the toes, roll the ankles a little bit if you like. If you can, point the toes towards the floor and then try to make fists out of your feet. Try and curl your toes up towards your heels, the same way you would curl your fingers in towards your wrists. That might cause a little bit of cramping, so again, just play, introduce this action, and you can add to it each time you come back to this part of the practice. Okay, so if you can, hug the legs together, make fists out of the feet. Second step, lift your head and shoulders just a little bit off the floor, reach your arms past your legs as though you're trying to grab hold of the front of your mat. You'll feel the core come on. You can stay here, and you can actually stay fairly neutral in the low back, so you don't really feel the low back push to the floor. This is not bad. You're also fine to put one hand behind your head to help support your neck if you find that a lot of work. Okay, if you want to go a little bit further, then you want to press the low back a little to the floor. What you're really doing is tilting the pelvis, and try and point your tailbone right up at your knees. You might find that lifts your chest a little bit as well. You can take that or not. Reach, reach, reach for 4. Curl the feet into fists, 3. Hug the legs, 2. And 1. Good. Rest. So that is your base hollow shape. You can just do 2 more of those. If you want to do something a little bit more challenging, then I'll add it on for you. So here we go. Here's your base hollow shape. Knees over the hips. Hug those legs together. Point the toes, and then just try and make fists out of your feet. It's a tricky little action. You probably won't get much movement, but you'll get lots of engagement. Okay, then once you're there, head and shoulders lift. Reach your arms past your legs. This is your base hollow shape. Stay here. Reach, hug, fists. Okay, if you want to go a little further, then the low back sinks towards the floor. The tailbone will point up towards the knees. You can stay here. If you want to go a little further, send your legs straight up. So still curling those feet, still hugging those legs. You feel your low back flat to the mat. That's your gauge. Start to lower your legs, but only so far as you can without the low back coming up off the floor. For 3, reach, reach, reach. 2, doesn't matter how low they go. 1 matters that that's strong. Good, and then come on out, rest. All right, last hollow. Knees over your hips, hug those legs together, make fists out of the feet. Then lift your head and shoulders, reach your arms past your legs, and you can stay here. Or you can go a little further, tilt the tailbone so you're pointing right up at the knees, stay here. Or you can go further, take the legs up, keep them hugging, keep those feet strong, and lower those legs. And if you want to go full, low back is flat to the mat, and you lift your arms up and back for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome, rest. Beautiful. Plant your feet on the floor, step them nice and wide, heels on the mat, toes off. And then again, lift the hips. Just enough that you feel that stretch in the front of the hip and thigh. You shouldn't feel it in your knees or your low back. Okay, and then once you're up again, let your hips be a little buoyant. So they're up, but you're not trying to shove them as hard as you can. You've just got them on. You've got these glutes on primarily. All right, with your arms laying at your sides, you're going to reach your left hand for the ceiling. And then you're going to do everything you can to really reach for the ceiling. So reach. You'll see that left shoulder roll up. You'll probably roll up onto your right shoulder and ear. Keep a little bit of weight in both feet. And then reach in the direction you're looking, up and overhead. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Come back through center. You can set the hips down if this is new to you. And then take those hips up again. Give them a little bounce. You just want them up and on. With your arms resting, your right hand will reach for the ceiling. And then again, just reach, 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 reach. It will roll you onto your left shoulder and ear. Keep a little weight in both feet. And then take that arm up and overhead. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back down. Rest the hips. Take your knees up. And rock yourself up to seated. Okay, from seated, sit right at the back edge of your mat. And you're going to bend your knees, sit your feet wide off the long edges of your mat, and just sit tall. So that doesn't mean slouching. You want to move your feet or bend your knees, whatever you need to, in order to allow you to sit up. It also does not mean being rigid through the torso. So pay attention to your rib cage, especially right at the base of your rib cage. If you feel the back ribs pushing against the skin, then you're probably slouching. Sit up a little bit. If you feel the front ribs pushing in towards the front skin, you're probably a little too rigid. Relax, just be tall. That's your base shape. Okay, set one hand behind your neck, just where the hairline starts, and then gently press your head back or your neck back into that hand a little, and see if it'll shut off some of the hard work in the neck. We get very used to being here in our tech culture, so the head is used to being forward of the rest of the body. So we're just looking to come back to a little bit more neutral. And if you're tight there, you'll feel the ribs pop out. Relax. Spend a little bit of time here. This is your base action, so don't be in any hurry. Couple of breaths to get the neck long, to check that the ribs aren't jutting. And there you are, sitting tall. Sit bones pressed to the floor, back of the neck is long towards the ceiling, and then you can straighten out your legs. Awesome. Okay, and if you're able to do that, then take the legs straight out in front of you. And just as a reminder to keep this posture, interlace your fingers, set your hands behind your head, and again, gently press the head back into your hands. And we're going to go for a crawl. Keeping your upper body as still as possible. In other words, trying not to swim yourself there. If you have a mirror in front of you, great, you can keep an eye on it. You'll see this gorgeous kind of snake-like action through the spine if you can manage to keep your head and arms pretty still. You're just going to crawl with your butt until your feet come to the top of your mat. Set your hands back in your head and crawl. And then once you get there, crawl back. Again, watch that you're not moving too much in the upper back. Call this pants off asana. You'll be able to put them back on when you get back. Okay, right back to the edge of the mat. You can do one more set. All forward. Good. And then crawl back. There we go. Relax. Just relax. All right. Set your feet wide. Put your pants back on. And then again, sit tall. Find that length in the back of the neck. Not so much because you have to be forced to the neck, again, because we tend to keep the head forward. So just start to become aware of your ability to set that head back into a more neutral place. Okay? Once you've got height, you're nice and tall. See if these legs will straighten out. And extend your arms out in front of you. Your arms are not going to do any of this action. You're just going to follow. You want to feel this action happening in your shoulder blade area and around your shoulders. So take your attention to this area. You can even close your eyes. And all you're going to do is backstroke to start. So one shoulder will come up towards the ear as it rolls back, and then drop away from the ear as it rolls forward. And the other shoulder, same thing. Up towards the ear as it goes back, away from the ear as it goes forward. So think of your shoulders like wheels on the sides of your body, either moving you back or forward. Doing a backstroke right now. So think of this shoulder as trying to be a wheel action. You can keep doing one arm at a time, or if you've got it, just swim. Backstroke, backstroke. For 4. And what you're really paying attention for is just as much motion around and below the shoulder blade as you can feel in that upper back. Let's do one more. Awesome. Relax. Keep that strength. Just get rid of the tension. Okay. And then arms extend forward again. The arms are really quiet. And we're going to front cross. So this shoulder's going to drop away from your ear as it rolls back. And then come up towards your ear as it goes forward. Sitting on this side, shoulder drops away and back, and then up and forward. And you can keep doing one arm at a time, or just front crawl. Back and forward, back and forward. And you can get really strict here, like try to keep the motion really exclusive to just the shoulder blades, or I find it's much more organic to let your body respond to this in the way that it would, like if you were actually crawling. For 2, and 1. Perfect. Relax. Okay, sit tall. Extend your arms out in front of you and then turn and face this long left leg. Tense your fingers on either side of that leg and do not let your fingers slide back. Leave them anchored. Lift your left heel as high as you can get it. 5 does not have to be very high. 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Same thing. Extend through center. Turn to face your right leg. Tense your fingers on either side of that leg. Don't let your fingers slide back. Anchor. And lift that right heel. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Okay. Shift your hips up to the center of your mat. Maybe even further, you'll see. If you're very mobile in the shoulders, you'll probably need to be pretty close to the front of your mat. Okay, extend your arms out straight in front of you, and then grab fists like you're riding a motorcycle. Keep this shape. All you're going to do is send those arms back behind you. Okay, so if you were to open your hands, the palms are facing the back of the room, thumbs are pointing at each other. You are what's called internally rotated rather than externally rotated. The elbow bone should be pointing out, not in. Okay? Tent those fingers, or plant those knuckles, I should say, as far from you as you can. Palms open to the back of the room, or facing the back of the room for me. Okay, take them as far as you can. You should start to feel a little bit of a stretch through your chest, and especially through the front of the shoulder and your bicep at the top of your arm. All right, that might be all you need. Hang out here and just gently lift your chest a little, breathe. If you've got a little bigger range of motion, then you can start to really lift the chest. And you should feel this go very deep into the biceps in this shape. For 5. And if you don't quite feel it, then maybe you've got to go further back with those hands. 3, you just kind of push the knuckles into the floor a little bit. 2, that will also go into the elbow a little bit. And 1, there you go. Come back out. Beautiful. And then move yourself back into the center of your mat. Get tall and extend your legs straight out in front of you. Tall, back and neck. Again, don't be in any hurry. Just move your breath through your body and find a good quality of action here. Okay, in this position, you're going to reach straight up. I'm going to turn and face the camera so you can see better what I'm doing. So you're going to sit, legs out, and reach straight up. For as much of this as you can, watch the hand that's moving so that we can start getting mobility into the neck. Okay, if it bugs your neck, don't worry about it. But if your neck is fine, watch the hand that's moving. So reach up, left hand grabs for a top left shelf. Reach, reach, reach like it's a millimeter out of your way, and grab. Good. Right hand goes to the top right shelf, just 1 millimeter out of your way. Reach, reach, reach. Good. Left hand reaches left. Right hand reaches right. Reach behind you. Left hand reaches for the top left shelf back there. Right hand reaches right. Left reaches left. And right goes right. Let's go one more. Left and right. Good. Relax. Sit tall. Watch your left hand as it reaches for the top right shelf. Right hand reaches left. Left goes right. Right goes left. One more. Left goes right. Left, right goes left. Beautiful. Sit straight up, nice and tall, not rigid, just tall. Extend your arms straight out in front of you. Tense your fingers on either side of those knees and lift both heels as high as they will come for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Fantastic. Okay, set your right foot, to the outside of your left leg. Sit tall. All you yogis, I know, you're going to want to get in here by leave it alone. This is just an introductory stretch. Sit tall. And then use your left hand to just hold that right knee in place. Tall. Watch your right hand as it starts to reach out to the right and back behind you. And once it's gone as far as you can kind of get in that twist, and just reach out. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Come back. Set this right ankle just above your left knee. If this shape rounds you out, no problem. Bend the left knee, plant your foot, use your hands to support you, and you'll work on a stretch here for this right hip. All you do is work on sitting up. You'll feel it in there. If you can sit upright in this position, no problem. Gently, and you're going to watch your right hand reach to the top left of your mat. Nice and easy. Left hand goes right. Now this is spinal flexion in the low back. It's pretty functional, pretty gentle, but if you have any issues in the low back, then you don't have to worry about doing this. You can do the previous one that I just modeled. One more. And reach. Awesome. Switch sides. Left foot sets to the outside of that right knee. Sit tall. Awesome. Right hand will hold on to that top left knee while you watch your left hand as it sweeps out to the left and back. And you'll feel that as a much more natural twist. Yogis are used to kind of grabbing on and then mostly cranking through the mid-back. Okay, and our necks are like the last thing we think about, which is really losing that integration of full spinal movement and natural spinal movement. Whereas if you use this drishti, this gaze point of watching the hand go back, you'll see my neck goes from my chest, and then it comes to my little bit of movement through the mid and low back. Very little, if any. And then just go there. 3, 2, and 1. Let's try to watch it come back. Set this left ankle just above the right knee. Again, that kind of rounds it up. And just lean back and just sort of thread the needle position, and your work is to sit up. You'll feel it in that left hip for sure. If you can sit up without too much trouble, then again, pay attention to the low back, just watch as you come. If it feels like any sharp shooting pain or it just feels uncomfortable in any way for your low back, just leave it. You can even just go here or just stay upright. If you're good at pelvic tilting, if you understand how to tilt from the hip instead of the back, then you can just lean that way too. Sometimes reaching up will help. And you can do a little bit of that. If this motion is fairly easy for you, it's a very basic action of the human body, so as long as your spine is healthy for it, get in there. It's like 60% effort. You're just kind of reaching, you feel the resistance in the body, and then you come back. Let's do one more. A little reach. Most of you are right-legged, so it's probably a little tighter. Awesome. Okay. And then sit back in the middle of the mat, feet planted about hip width apart. Hands, it totally depends on how mobile you are in your shoulders or your elbows. You will see that I have a lot of bend in my elbow, like my natural full range of motion gives me a pretty bend. So I like to turn my fingers way back. So if you're pretty mobile, turn your fingers way back. If you're a little bit tighter, you might feel more comfortable with the fingers aiming forward or out to the side. Okay, hands go right under your shoulders. And then start here. Relax. Just relax. Just get tension out of the body as much as you can. Big breath into those low back ribs. And just put the effort where you need it. Lift your head and look forward. And push the heels of your hands into the floor. That is not jamming the ribs forward. That is just you relaxed and you push the heel of your hand into the floor. Straight down. You should feel muscle around and below the bottom of your shoulder blades sternum. If you don't quite feel that, push. Then you can also push into your feet and give those arms a little more to resist against. You can play around here a lot. You can push the hands straight down. You can push them down and a little bit out, or what I really love is push down and kind of try and hug the hands towards each other a little bit more once you're there. And again, just moderate. We're really just warming up here. Prepping your body for pretty much anything you might ask it to do today. And you should feel a nice engagement maybe in those lower traps, in your mid to low back, maybe even the lats a little bit. Okay, and then you can stay here or try this. Take your butt an inch up off the floor. If the weight bearing on the hands is fine, great, stay here. If it's not, come back down and just work on maybe little to no pressure through the feet. Just work on this action. Okay, lifting the hips was fine, and see how high you can take them comfortably. This might be where you go, oh, I don't love where my hands are, or I don't know where my feet are. Great, figure out. Hips come up, and you can take the heart up a little bit. And if that range of motion is okay, then here's what you're gonna do. Hands are under the shoulders, more or less. Lift those hips just an inch up off the floor. And then take your right hand in front of your face. Watch it. Hips lift, heart lifts, hands will go back. Hips up, heart lifts, hands will go back. And try and reach for the floor behind you so you can really get under that arm. Good. And then come back, watching the hand, and switch. Watching your left hand, hips will come up, heart will come up, and this hand will reach back. Hips up, heart up, hand reaches back. And you just do as much of that as feels okay, especially on the shoulder. Come back down. Now you know where you're going. Let's try it one more time. Hips up, heart up, hand goes back. And down. And switch. Hips up, heart up, hand goes back. So I don't love this hand position. It's a little too much. I like to have my hand turn back. And back down. Awesome. Okay, you're good to go. That's your first warm-up set of exercises.